Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back, or
recording in progress.
Welcome to this session of Restorative Yoga. Hi, Cherry. There's some I don't want to say old faces because you might slap me, but there's some long lost friends joining us this afternoon. Not long lost, but people I haven't seen for a long time. So it's really nice to see you. Some people that I've seen just today. So really nice to see you back again, and some new faces as well as my regular students. So it's a really nice mixed group. We've got quite a few more to come in yet, so we'll wait just a couple more minutes. But in the meantime, if you haven't been here yet, my name's Rachel Lovegrove, and I'm the director of Orange Tree Yoga. And today's been a whole day of free classes to celebrate the new year. We haven't done anything like this before, not a whole day. We've done the odd free class here and there, but so this has been quite an event, and even though it's online, it's still really exciting to organise something like this. So thank you for coming. If you're relatively new to yoga, because we've got quite a mixed group this afternoon, so if you don't have many props, and you might not have any props at all, there's always things you can use around the house. So if you've got a couple of cushions and a blanket, something you can use as a belt, could be any, like a dressing gown tie, it doesn't have to tie up or anything, then make sure you've got that to hand. The other people that are more experienced at this method, I will guess that you've got all your kit with you. Now, there was one person, okay, so let's see now. There was one person whose video I couldn't see, and I think they've just, oh yes, now who's Dell? I think that's the name of your computer and not you. Oh, you're there, okay, so that's fine, don't worry, I won't call out your name unless you want to be named, but just to let you know, I might call you Dell.
No, don't call me Dell, it was my mum's computer.
Oh right, okay.
It's Katie.
Katie, oh hi Katie, oh there you are, right, okay, so I'm going to rename you if you don't mind.
Please do.
Yeah, okay. It won't rename you forever, it's only in this session, but I have the technology. There we are.
Okay, super.
There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll just let the others come in. Yes, of course some people might not come in this afternoon, but let's see now. So there's a few more coming in. So is there anyone here so far who's got any questions before we start? Is there anyone here who's done less than 6 months practice of yoga? Don't be afraid to wave at me. I'm not going to pick on you or anything like that. It's just so I know. Okay. All right. So although there's a few more people coming in as we speak, I think we'll get started because it's 3:30 now. And you will see possibly a button on your screen that says I'm recording. That's for insurance purposes, but I will send out a recording of this actually, so that anyone else that you want to send it to, you can send it to. But we'll get started first with Swastikasana. So just sit in the center of your mat, sit on a lift.
Before you start, will we get a recording of Beata's class that was done at midday?
Yes, you will. Yes, I'm doing that later. Okay, so just be ready to start now. Sit in the center of your mat, sit on a lift so that you can sit up nice and tall, and cross your shin bones at the center. So in actual fact, the knees should be more or less in line with the feet. They should be resting towards the feet. Okay, so try not to have your ankles crossed. Bring your palms down beside you. Sit nice and tall. Press your shoulders back. Lift up through the sides of your body. Feel that broadness across the front of the chest, the back of the chest. And then bring the palms together in front of your chest and close the eyes and draw your senses inwards. So if you've just joined us, if you've just logged in, just sit in the center of your mat and join the palms together. Close the eyes And just feel as if you come into contact with the rhythm of your breath, the natural rhythm of your breath. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. So we're just going to sit quietly this afternoon. But I will chant the invocation, which is what we traditionally chant at the beginning of a session. Don't worry about the words, don't worry about not knowing it. It's just what we traditionally chant in a session like this with experienced practitioners. If you're not familiar, just watch your breath, watch your posture, and keep the eyes closed, mind quiet. Yogena citasya padena vacham malam sharirasya javaidyakena yopa karotam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankachakra siddharinam Sahasra shirasam svetam pranamami patanjalim hari om. So then we bow the head down towards the heart. We pay our respects to the lineage of yoga that's been passed down through the centuries, all our teachers. And then release the hands down, raise the head, open the eyes. Okay, and extend out your legs. Now, we're starting off with supine work, all right? And I'd like you just to observe the demonstration before you start moving around so that you can see where we're going with this. And if you have trouble with your shoulders and your head, when you lie down, your head gets thrown back, you must have support under your head so that the neck is long, the neck is free. You'll need to have a belt for the first movement, and you'll also need something to support your outgoing leg. So just watch what's going to happen. So I'm going to lie down first, and as you lie down, you roll the spine down, so you keep the abdomen soft, but you see that you're rolling in a straight line from your pelvis. You extend your legs away into the heels. So there is work involved in restorative practice. It's not just lying around. Just watch first, just watch. It's not just lying around over a bolster, okay? Sorry about that. We do have to do a bit of work as well, but it's very restful in its nature. We tuck the shoulders under. So there's this strong extension of the legs, strong opening of the chest. We're going to take the arms over initially to create space. Space is really important for restorative work before you start to do any of the other movements. So we can take the arms over, but if you have problems with your shoulders, you can take the arms either out to the sides or use that belt and take the arms over like so. And then we'll be doing some leg work where we're going to take one leg out to the side, and because it's restorative, we want to support that leg so that when we take the leg out, we don't have to worry about the pelvis rocking from side to side. We can just stay there. You can even put your foot on the bed or on a wall if you're very stiff in your hips. Okay, so don't worry about the second bit yet. I just wanted to show you where we're going so that you can work out where you need to be. But first of all, find your belt, find your supports, and lie down and be ready. Just lie down. Yeah, make sure you've got room to extend your arms over your head. But just be there with your arms extended by your sides and your legs extended away from your pelvis. Make sure that the head is not being thrown back. So if you're tight in your shoulders, Definitely take some support under your head and neck. Have the feet about hip width apart, particularly those of you with lower back issues, menstruating. Keep the feet slightly apart, about hip width apart, so there's space in the pelvis. And then keep the arms by your sides, palms facing your thighs. So if you were palms by your sides, by your thighs, sides. Yeah, don't take them over your head yet. Palms facing the thighs, as if you were standing up in the middle of the room. So strong action in the arms, strong extension through the legs, heels extending. Press your shoulders down and broaden your chest. And then from there, take a big breath in, raise the arms up to vertical, and as you breathe out, take them all the way over towards the floor behind you. If you need to use a belt, use a belt. Don't struggle and have the arms kind of shaking. Yes, that's when you realise how wide your room is when you take the arms over. I've got one room at home where I can touch my heels to one wall and the fingers to the other wall. It's quite handy actually. So keep the palms facing each other. Palms facing each other. Roll the thighs from outside in and extend the backs of the legs into the heels. So what we're trying to do here is create space. Create space. So you have to use your limbs to create that space. So even if you can't take the arms overhead, extend the arms out to the sides and create a horizontal space across the chest. This will help the area of the lungs and the heart, create better circulation in those areas, and also brings our awareness to those areas as well. All right, and then bring your arms back. Now you can bring the legs together and take your belt. If you're very stiff in your hips, take lots of height. Don't bring the height under the buttock, just bring it to touch the side of the right thigh. So it's wedged there next to the right leg. And then bend your right leg, bring the belt around the foot. Extend the leg up, hold the belt in your right hand and bring your leg off towards the right side. So this is to create space in the pelvis for some of the supine work that we're going to do. This is probably as hard as it's going to get, so make a good attempt to create that opening. Hold the belt with your arms straight, don't bend the elbow, hold the belt with your arms straight. That's it, as if you're holding, in fact, those of you that can, hold your foot. Yes. And keep the pelvis level. So if when you take the leg out to the side, you start to rock over onto your right buttock, then you need to put more height under your thigh or even put your foot against the wall so that you can maintain it. So, iPad 4, I don't know who that is, but if you move closer to that wall on your right, it's the lady in a white room with black leggings, black t-shirt. Yes, you. iPad 4. If you go a little bit more to the right, you can put your foot on that wall. Isn't that better? Much nicer, huh? And then when you do it the second side, you can turn around and go the other way. That's it. So the idea is with supported work, with the restorative work, is that we hold the poses for longer. We get more benefit. But in order to be able to hold the pose without exhausting ourselves, that's where the supports come in. So the geometry of the poses is still the same as if you were doing it without the support, but it's more manageable for you. All right, well done. And then come up with that leg and change sides. So if you do want to rest your other foot against the wall, then yeah, turn around and put your other foot against the wall. Or if you've got a sofa there, you can rest the foot against the sofa. Hold the belt with the foot, hold the foot with the belt, or hold the foot, or hold around the big toe. And then on an exhalation, bring your left leg out to the side, making sure the thigh is supported or the foot supported at the wall. Right leg should be straight. And also another thing you can do to get more width is to move the right leg slightly further to the right. That can be very, very comforting if you have any problems with your ovaries, any problems in the lower abdomen, any very tight groins. Even some sacroiliac problems, it's nice to have that slightly wider position of the down leg. Have that feeling that the abdomen is turning from left to right, away from the outgoing leg. And focus on that inhalation, exhalation, particularly the exhalation where you feel tightness. Use the exhale to release that area deeper. All right, and then you can bring that leg up. Hug your knees to your chest for a moment, and that will soften the groins. And then turn to the camera and have a look. Now, I'm looking around as I'm teaching you, seeing what people have got. I'm not spying on your houses, I promise. I'm just looking to see what equipment have you got. I know some of you are very well equipped, and some people have bolsters. So for all these supine poses that we're going to do next, if you want to use your bolster, go ahead. You know how to do. If you don't have a bolster or anything like that, if you've got a couple of foam blocks, you can make a line with your foam blocks like this, and then you can put a blanket on top. So you make a long strip. The blanket is for your head, okay? And if you don't have any foam blocks, just get maybe a couple of cushions that you can make a line with for what we're going to do next. So this is Suktor Swastikasana. So again, just watch for a second. We're going to cross the shins. We need a bit of a gap between the edge of the block and the buttocks. And then you lie down. The back is supported, but the buttocks are on the floor. And I'm just adjusting my buttocks towards my heels and adjusting my shoulder blades towards my waist by tucking my shoulders under like that. Arms can be here, or you can extend the arms over and fold the elbows. And then we're going to close the eyes and go a bit deeper into that restorative aspect. Okay? So if you're not sure how to use your props, then you can ask away. But what you need to think about is that the lift should be it should be able to be from the top of the head to just about where the navel region is. Okay, so that's the length of your support. Make sure it's in a straight line going back along your mat, and then lie down with the legs crossed well, and feel that that support elevates the whole trunk. So what it's doing is it's lifting the heart, it's lifting the lungs. It's kind of giving a feeling of lightness to the chest, and then expansion from the center of the chest to the outer corners of the ribs. When you've settled, when you've adjusted your buttocks, you've adjusted your shoulders, then see if you can take the arms, extend the arms over and fold the elbows. If that doesn't feel comfortable, if it brings tightness in your throat or your neck, just keep your arms by your sides. If you have any knee problems or the hips feel painful, then you can support the outer thighs with blankets. So if you're not sure about how to do that, then come up and I'll show you how. Just so you know, Anne, I can't see you at all because I don't know. Yeah, I can see you waving now. Oh, that's fine, as long as you're all right. Very nice pictures I can see, but not you. So in a moment, we're going to change the cross of the legs. So you don't have to worry about when to do that, I'll tell you. But if you've got those very, very tight hips and you start to think, oh, no, this is time to come out, then you can change the cross of the legs in your own time. But next time you do these kinds of poses, support your outer thighs with more either blocks or pillows or blankets. And we use a lot of props in restorative, but obviously some of you I don't know very well. I don't know what props you've got, what experience you've got. All right, so now bring the arms back by your sides before you change the cross of the legs. It's just better to have the arms released down, then change the cross of the legs. So you've got the other leg in front. Yes, and if you feel you need to, adjust that buttock flesh again towards the heels so you get that feeling of space in the lower back. Adjust the shoulders so the shoulder blades move away from the neck. And then when you extend your arms over to fold the elbows, see if you can remember which one you caught first and try and catch the other elbow first. Allow the mouth to be softly closed, the eyes to be softly closed. Let the breathing be soft and rhythmic. And now bring your arms back beside you. And then press your hands into the floor to come up. So sit up from there. If your back is sore, bend your knees, roll to the side. Otherwise, try and sit up. And then extend your legs out. So you're sitting next to your lift in Dandasana with the legs extended forwards, just to open out the backs of the knees and release any tension there. So the next pose we're going to do, some of you have got belts, I know. Some of you know how to use your belts for this pose. I'm not going to teach this today because it takes a little bit of time to learn the belt method. So it's called Suktor Swastikasana, and the feet are together in Baddha Konasana. This just means bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. The literal translation is bound angle, and Sukta means supine. So it's got the same spelling. The first three letters are the same. Supta, S-U-P-T-A, and supine. So my feet are together. Ideally, my heels will be touching my body, but I've got a few more years of practice. I've already done 30. I'm nearly there. So I'm going to shove my buttocks towards my heels and then lie back. Now, you can do this with the belt. Those of you that know how, take your belt. But I wanted to tell you about these hips. So those of you with the tight hips or the painful hips, what you need to do is get a couple of cushions or a rolled blanket and place that under your thigh near the hip. So then that leg will start to go, oh, that's better. The groin will relax, the hip won't be hurting, okay? And then you can stay there for longer. You need to have one each side for that. And again, we're going to rest the arms first, then extend the arms over, fold the elbows. Okay. So go ahead and use the belt if you know how to use it. Otherwise, just do it with the feet together. And anyone with those painful hips, do support the thighs, because then you can stay in the pose and really relax the groins and almost have that luxurious feeling. Yes. In fact, even if you don't have painful hips, it's nice to do that, have that supported version. Okay. And when you lie back, feel that you lie back in a straight line. You roll the arms out initially, just let the arms settle, let the body settle into this different pose. And then when you feel ready, extend the arms over and fold the elbows. And if that feels too strong in the shoulders, then just keep the arms by your sides. But work on that rotation of the biceps from inside out. Okay, to keep the collarbone area open. Relax your tummy completely. Let your abdomen be completely soft. Soft, smooth inhalations, soft, smooth exhalations. Allow the eyes to soften and deepen into their sockets. And this is a pose that really you can stay for quite some time. I'm going to give you a few minutes here. It's extremely beneficial for the nervous system, as is all of this restorative work. Very good for the lower abdominals, for the groins, for the digestion. It alleviates anxiety. Good also for some depressive disorders and stress. So change the cross of the elbows. So this is to make sure that the shoulders are being mobilized evenly. All right, and then you can bring your arms back and then gently open the eyes and slowly come up and sit up. So I think, Harriet, I think your cat is really enjoying this restorative session. He's been sat there looking at the screen the whole time. Okay, so all right, we're going to come into a seated pose called Virasana. So some of you know where this is going. It's one of my favorite poses, but it is a difficult pose for people with tight thighs, tight knees, knee problems. So I've got a foam block here. Now, if you haven't got any foam blocks, but you've got pillows, something a bit firmer, maybe like a sofa cushion. You're going to take your feet either side of that lift. So my toes are going straight back. Shin bones are down. I'm going to draw the calf flesh back and sit between my heels. So the lift is under my buttocks only, not under my thighs. Some of you I know can sit on the floor, no problem. And some of you will need lots more height. Now, if this is really difficult, I'll be looking around to see. Then just see if you can take more height. Make sure the lift is between your feet and not between your shins. So push it back right between the feet. Don't have it between your shins. No, don't have it between your shins. Have it right between the feet. Right between the feet, all the way back until it touches the big toes. Yes. Knees together. Slide the calf muscle back and then see if you can sit. Knees together. I would sit on a block, even if you can sit on the floor. Yes. And bring the knees together. Okay, let me see. Is anyone really struggling with this? Don't be afraid to say, because it is a common one for knees. So I'm having a look round to see. All look quite happy-ish with this pose. And Rick knows how to work with his special knees. Okay, now there is a supine version of this pose, but I wanted to introduce this one first so that you get an idea of where you are in it. And for some people, the thighs are very, very tight, or the knees are tight, or the ankles are tight, all kinds of things go on. So we won't go through everything, but just bring the arms forwards, interlock your fingers, turn your palms away and lift the arms up, and see if you can create that space in your trunk through the actions of the arms lifting up. If your knees are getting tighter and it's really uncomfortable, just stretch out your legs. But if you can stay for a few more seconds, then do. And then bring the arms all the way down. We're going to change the interlock of the fingers, which means we move the fingers over one. Okay, so you go from being right-handed to left-handed. Turn the palms away, lift the arms up. Stretch up, pressing those shin bones down. Try not to thrust the pelvis forwards or the ribs forwards, but keep the buttock flesh moving down. And then bring the arms down. Okay, now those that can do Suktor Virasana, so the Sukta is lying back Virasana, you can go ahead and do that. Those that don't do Suktor Virasana, so I'll show you what Suktor Virasana is, and you might decide that you definitely don't do it today, because it is a more difficult pose. You take the same support that you had for the last pose, or maybe a little bit more, and then you lie back on that support. So it does demand a really big stretch of those thighs and an understanding of how to use the prop. So if you're not familiar with this, don't do this today, okay, because this is not a beginner's pose. What I would do instead is still have that support behind you, but do Shavasana 2, which is the legs are extended out like we did right at the beginning, and the body is resting elevated on that lift, and then you can let your arms release and let your legs release. Okay. So we're only going to be here a short while. So decide which one you're going to do and then have a go. And if you change your mind, that's fine. But who's that? Sue, get rid of the block that's under your buttocks. Yeah, Sue braid. That's it. And then just lie back over that lift. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, if the legs are straight, you don't have anything under your bottom. If the legs are bent in Virasana, you're going to have maybe a lift under your bottom. Jason, you need to just raise your head up a bit. It's being thrown back. Yeah. That's good, Karen, but you need to have more height under your back next time. You see where your blocks, you've got 2 blocks there. So the bottom underneath the bolster needs to be 4 blocks high. I know, it's furniture yoga, this one. Trust me, I used to be there. I used to have 4 blocks high and a bolster, and I'd still cry. But, you know, little by little, I've learned to love this pose. Now, Richard, your knees are very, very wide. You've got to bring them in. You've got to control those legs. Go on, even more, even more. That's it, well done. Okay, so last minute now. Try to find that sense of peace. Even if you're struggling with your thighs, see if you can use the exhalation to release a little bit deeper. Good. All right, and then you can slowly open the eyes, press your hands into the floor and come up. If you're lying flat with your legs, if you're lying with your legs straight, roll to the side and come up. And then extend out your legs. Just sit up on your lift for a moment and extend out the legs. And sit nice and tall. Okay. So we've done some supine work. We've done some work with the back supported. We're going to also now enhance that lift in the chest. Enhance that lift in the chest with a little supported back arch. So there's lots of ways to do this. And because I wasn't sure what people had, I went for just something simple. Has anyone not got any foam blocks at all? Just, hang on, I've got to see. Is there anyone who doesn't have any props at all? Any foam blocks? I'm just having a look to see if there's anyone. Okay, so has everyone got one foam block? At least, yeah. Okay, so we're going to use this. We're going to use this foam block. So if you don't have a foam block, you've got to find something about the same shape. It could be a folded blanket, it could be a cushion. You're going to put that at the top edge of your mat. Now, for those that have got more foam blocks, take 2, all right? And even take 3 and have something for your head. This foam block is where your shoulder blades are going to go. So at the back of my body, okay, it's going to be here, across from the top of the shoulder. And I'm going to lie down, position my upper back. Top of the shoulder is just, it's sort of just on the edge. And my head's going back like that. So it's now really lifting the chest, opening all of that area up. And then I can either bring my arms out to the sides, which is really nice and opening, or I can bring the arms over and fold the elbows, or just bring the arms here a little bit lower down. Okay? So this is a supported back arch, very simple supported back arch. Okay. Off you go. So don't put the support under your lumbar or under your waist. Put it under your shoulders, horizontally across, so it supports the shoulder blade region. So your shoulders shouldn't be dangling off the edge. Your shoulders are on it. Yeah. So it lifts the back chest, gives you this feeling of lightness. This is very conducive for breathing work, to prepare you for breath work. Just let the arms relax for a minute and settle in. You might need to adjust the height that's under your head. If you feel a little bit tight in the neck, then put a little bit extra height under the head if you can find it. First of all, if you're going to take the arms over the head, the first thing is to take the arms out to the side and get that expansiveness across the chest. So any tightness in the collarbones, pectoral muscles, you'll feel that here. And that means, if you're feeling it, it means you're starting to release it. And then you can bring the arms over your head. If you wish to, stretch the arms towards the wall behind you. You might even touch the wall behind you, which is quite helpful. And then fold your elbows. Don't have the head too high. So let it go back a little bit. So the experience that when the head goes back, the weight of the head going back lifts the sternum bone up. So don't be afraid to take the head back. Because the shoulders are supported, the chest is lifted. There is more freedom in the neck. Make sure the lift though isn't under your lumbar. It should be under your shoulders only. So Karen, can you move that lift? I think it's down near your waist a little bit. Can you move it back more to your shoulders? Yeah, wriggle a bit more. Keep going, keep going. That's it, that's it. And now you can lower that brick that's under your head. Just lower it a little bit. Yeah. And just experience that. It often feels more, it often feels like the head is tipping back more than it actually is. But if you look at your profile from the side, you're barely raising your chin, most of you. If you were to be standing up in the middle of the room, you'd just be slightly looking down your nose at me. The head is hardly back at all. Now, if you've got the elbows folded, change the cross of the elbows. If your arms are tired, just bring them by your sides. The eyes are closed, mouth is soft, throat soft. All right, and then you can bring your arms back by your sides. Now listen carefully. Don't raise your head up. What you need to do is slide towards your feet so that your head comes onto the blocks that are under your chest. Just keep sliding. Let your head come with you. That's it. Once the head is sort of elevated a bit higher than the chest, then roll to the side and come up from the side. That's it. Bend your knees, roll to the side and come up from the side. Okay, good. All right, so those blocks then were under your back chest. Now we're going to move the blocks down to the buttocks for Setu Bandha. And of course, those of you that have the bolster, you can do bolster Setu Bandha. If you don't have a bolster, the blocks will do very, very nicely. So Setu Bandha is bridge pose. I think some of you have already been in class today and done this with either myself or Hanno Beata. So if you're using foam blocks, you can do them, put them this way round, so they're lengthways, and then you come back over the blocks. You've got your buttocks on the lift, and then, sorry, I'll get that bolster out of the way, and then you're going to extend out your legs. So it's a very long extension of the legs. The shoulders have to tuck right under. If you go flat on your shoulder blades, can you hear my voice? It's suddenly become very compressed. So that means that the throat is being compressed because my shoulder blades are flat. This would be like if I was standing up, I'd be very, very hunched. So you've got to really get those shoulders to move towards the waist, and then you can hear the voice is kind of normal again. All right, so that's Setu Bandha on a low lift. But if you have got a bolster and you want to go higher, you can do the bolster version. But again, make sure that when you lie back, you're tucking your shoulders towards the bolster, extending the legs out and releasing the arms down. Shoulders should be on the floor. Okay. If you want a really restful one, you can place the feet on the wall, those of you that know how. Some of you know how to belt the feet, belt the legs together. Some of you might have a back bender in your space, or a Setu Bandha bench. But make sure the shoulders are on the floor. If it feels too tight in the back, then let me know. But often it's because the shoulders are not positioned properly or tucked under, so adjust that first. And then if that doesn't work, then you can try raising the feet up a little higher. And then once you're in position, feel that the thighs are pressing down, the legs are extending well, and close the eyes and go inwards. So feel that beautiful arch of the upper back. That's the bridge, the arch bridge. And this is especially helpful for people with any heart problems, asthma, any breathing problems. It's a very common pose that we would give to our respiratory problem patients. And for the nervous system, it's a very important pose to soothe the nerves. So allow the breath to flow smoothly. If you're hanging on and there's a lot of pain or tension, then you can bend the knees and just soften the pose a little bit. But through proper alignment, there shouldn't be any pain. unless there's an injury. In fact, when we do the pose from the bench, we have these wooden benches, the buttocks are a lot higher so that we get a much bigger curve in the chest. Shoulders drop down to the floor. Last minute now. All right, and then you can bend your knees, and to come out, you lift your hips and move the blocks out or move the bolster out and just come down slowly towards the floor. And once again, roll to your side and come up from the side. Okay, now we're going to sit for a moment. You might like to sit against the wall. If you can sit fairly comfortably on your lift, then just sit on your lift. We're going to do a little bit of breath work. So position yourself so that you can feel supported. So if you're very tired, put your back against the wall. If you find sitting in this position really difficult in your groins, take plenty of height or even sit in a chair. I'm going to show you the hand hold. So I'm going to come as close as I can to the screen so you can see. We're going to have a little go at a breath work called Nadi Sodhana. It's the alternate nostril breathing. It's one of many, many different versions of breath work and of alternate or nostril breathing. And there's a specific way to hold the hand to close the nostrils. If you've got arthritis or you're a complete beginner at this kind of thing and you get lost, you can just use your thumb and your first finger, okay, no problem. But as we're here and I'm teaching, we'll try for the proper grip. So these two fingers, the first two fingers, get folded in. They're not used in breath work, they're folded in. The ring finger and the little finger are joined together to form one finger, and then you use the tip of the thumb. So these two fingers and this thumb are used in alternate nostril breathing. And what you do is you place you close your left nostril with the ring finger and the little finger. You close your right nostril with the thumb when you're interchanging. And you keep the fingers in contact all the time. So even when you've got the right nostril open, you keep the right thumb on the nostril. Okay, so in other words, we don't do this kind of thing with the fingers, not in our system. We keep the thumb in contact. It keeps the brain kind of concentrating. It keeps you aware, and it stops the sort of too much movement in the hand as well. So, but don't worry too much if you get lost in this today, because this is a very quick session on this. So what happens is the left hand is just relaxed and the head can be slightly down, and we're going to alternate breathing in and out through each nostril. So I'm going to take my hand up, I'm going to exhale, I take my hand up, and then I'm going to inhale through my right nostril, exhale through my left nostril, inhale through my left nostril, exhale through my right nostril, and so on. Okay, so it goes like that rhythm. So you inhale through the first nostril, then when you change to the second nostril is the exhalation. You inhale through that same nostril and then change, exhale through the right. Okay, so we're just going to do a couple of minutes of this. So if you just sit really straight and tall, relax your left hand completely, Take the head down towards the chest. If this is difficult in the neck, just keep the head slightly lifted, but don't bring the head all the way up. Focus on your inhale, but don't take the hand up yet. Just relax a minute. Don't take the hand up yet. Focus on your inhalation and exhalation. And after your next exhalation, take the hand up as you come to the end of that breath. Take the hand up to close the left nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left nostril. Exhale through the right. And then just continue in your own timing, inhaling and exhaling through alternate nostrils. Just use the right hand. You're only using the right hand. Left hand is on the lap. Now, if you feel dizzy or you feel like the head is getting filled up with air, then come back to normal breathing. Don't force the breath. And really important in this is because you're breathing through one nostril, there's less air coming in at once, so it will take longer to breathe. So if you feel as if you're kind of gasping, release the practice and come back to normal breathing. Just keep the eyes closed, focus on the breath, and try not to suck the air in or push the air out. It's a really fine stream of air that comes through each nostril. If you get lost, you can just start again. Inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left. Inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right. Keep the shoulders nicely back, chest lifted. Have the right elbow slightly elevated as well, so it's not kind of dropping into the waist. That's it. All right, and then after your next exhalation through the right nostril, keep the eyes closed, but bring the right hand down and just come back to normal breathing. And then gently raise the head, excuse me, and open the eyes. And then release your legs. So it's something that can be done for anxiety, that alternate nostril breathing. It's also very cleansing for the nostrils, you can imagine. Although if you've got one blocked nostril, it's slightly more difficult. But it does help to fine-tune the breath. And the reason it's good for anxiety is because you're concentrating on the breath. You're really having to think right, left, inhale, exhale, the hand position, so many things. And so it really directs you into the moment and kind of diffuses the anxiety that might be going on in your life. So it's very helpful. It helps with insomnia as well. Okay, now we're coming towards the end of this short restorative session. So I'm going to suggest that we split into two groups again. If you know Viparita Karani, that's lying with your legs up the wall pose with your buttocks elevated, you can go ahead and set up for that. If you don't know that pose, I'm going to ask you to get a chair, and it can be a chair or it could be the sofa, and you're going to put something on the chair like a blanket or a cushion so that the legs can be elevated. And when you lie down, you're going to bring your legs onto the chair. Ideally, you want something under the buttocks as well. So it could be a block, it could be a cushion, it could be a bolster. So one or two blocks, or one or two cushions, or a block and a cushion. And the legs are resting on the chair. Thighs are more or less vertical. I'll bring that chair in a bit more. Sorry, yeah, they're more or less, but they may be slanted if you've got longer legs. And then you're going to release the arms out to the sides. So this is called chair Viparita Karani. Those of you that know the pose lying with your legs at the wall, you can do that. That's it. So maybe Linda, spin that chair round so that you can get right up to the back of the calf. Yeah. That's it. And then tucking the shoulders under, let the arms completely release. Again, we've still got that chest opening action. But now the legs are elevated, or at least the thighs are. And this brings great relief into the abdominal area, into the lower back. So if you've got your legs up the wall there, Margaret, you need to lift your pelvis up. Otherwise you're doing a different pose actually. Energetically it's different. So have lots of height under your buttocks, as much as you can gather. Yeah. That's it. And now really tuck those shoulders under. Yes, that's better. Let the legs fall into the pelvis. Completely relax the abdomen. Let your brain quieten. Let your senses quieten. You may find that there's a little bit more focus on the breath because you've just done that small amount of breath work. So allow the mind to connect to the breath so as to quieten the senses. If the mind gets distracted, bring it back into the moment, either by connecting to the body or to the breath. And then if you wish to stay in this pose, you can stay. Thank you, June. Otherwise, you can lie flat in Shavasana. So you come out of the pose, move yourself away from the wall and lie flat for Shavasana for the final few minutes. Make sure that you're warm enough. See that you've got space for your arms and your legs, so you're not kind of pushed into a wall or you've got lots of things touching your body. Take your time to get the setup just right. And when you lie down, extend your legs away and then let your legs fall to the sides. Let your arms fall away from the body. Close your eyes and let go. Feel the whole body releasing into the floor. With each exhalation, yield deeper and deeper. Allow the brain energy to flow down like water towards the heart and rest. All right, and then you can bring your awareness back to your body and take a couple of deeper breaths. When you feel ready to move once again, then bend your knees towards you and roll to the side. And gently come up from the side. Okay, and that's all for today. So thank you very much everyone for joining me. It's really lovely to see you all, and it's been a great way to celebrate the start of the new year. So if you want any more information, it's on the website. Otherwise, I'll see most of you next week, I think, or maybe tomorrow. There's a Saturday class. Any questions before you go? No? All quite blissed out. Okay, all right.
Thanks, Rachel. Bye.
Take care now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye now. Lovely to see you. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Rachel. Happy New Year.
You too. Thanks, Richard.
See you soon.
That's super. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye now.
Bye.